So I just actually looked at the replay of that fight. Didn't get a chance to see it on Saturday, but just watched it. And first off, hats off to both fellas. Excellent effort and heart and grit by both guys. I thought that William Zepeda fought a very spirited fight, very active, threw double the amount of punches more or less than Shakur threw. But Shakur was more accurate and more, he had better placement on his punches. I'll put it like that. William Zepeda was landing his shots here and there. They both landed a similar amount of shots from what I could tell. And then on CompuBox, let me look up these numbers real quick. Technology never works when you need it. Okay, here we go. So total punches landed, 295 out of 565 punches thrown for Stevenson versus 272 landed punches out of 979 thrown for William Zepeda. So Shakur Stevenson landed 23 more punches according to CompuBox, but threw almost half of the punches that Zepeda threw. So Zepeda was all volume, landing a lot of the shots were hitting off the gloves on the high guard. So outside of rounds 3, 4, and 8, I didn't think Zepeda did enough to be able to win that fight. That being said, I had it scored 9-3 in favor of Shakur Stevenson, and that may seem like a very wide scorecard, but it was a very competitive fight. It was just that Zepeda couldn't do enough to land effective punches. He was landing punches on Shakur, including the one in the third round that made Shakur stumble. Contrary to popular opinion, what I saw was Shakur get caught off guard by a southpaw jab on the ropes, and maybe his mind was on autopilot, tried to throw his own, I guess that would be rear hook, so that would be a 4. He tried to throw his own 4 back, and he whiffed, and he fell off balance. So I didn't think he was really hurt the way that the commentators were saying in the moment and the way that people thought in the moment. And I think that's the reason why he walked forward. I don't think he was really hurt, but he certainly did not expect William Zepeda to be able to catch him like that. He thought he was at a safe distance. He was not. And one of my criticisms for Shakur in my prediction video was that as gifted as he is defensively, he doesn't quite have the gauge of distance that the elite of the elite fighters in history have had, defensive fighters like a Floyd Mayweather or Pernell Whitaker or Sugar Ray Robinson, Muhammad Ali in his prime. Guys like that really understood how to just get out of range and be right there to crack back. Terrence Crawford as well. Guys like that. And for that moment and a few others, he showed some of those deficiencies, but all in all, I think he cleaned a lot of that crap up, and he looked very, very good this fight against a guy that was pressuring him from the gate. Will Zepeda was playing no games with him, got him on the ropes. Antonio Tarver was telling him, get off the ropes, like it was Rocky IV, like he was fighting the Russian. And Shakur stayed in there, stayed calm, cool, collected, and was landing counter shots early in the fight. They were both trading, but as the fight dragged on, you started to see the separation in skill. So at a certain point, the volume was not able to outdo the precision, the accuracy, and the placement that Stevenson was putting into his shots. And round 10, 11, and 12, Zepeda started slowing down, and Shakur started throwing more combination punches, 3, 4, 5 punches at times. So I was really impressed by Shakur. He showed me a lot of grit. He showed me the type of grit and heart needed to match a guy like Zepeda, who his drawback is he doesn't have knockout power. He'll throw the punches and bunches with that Mexican style, but he doesn't have that one hitter quitter type of power. Does he develop that? I don't know. But beyond that, this fight in no way, shape, or form made me not want to see a Will Zepeda fight. If anything, I'm going to be tracking him closely moving forward. You have 2 very, very good wins against Tevin Farmer, and then you have a very tough but highly competitive loss to Shakur Stevenson, a fight where Shakur Stevenson bought out his entire bag of tricks and things that we didn't even know he had. So he showed me a lot of depth, a lot of high level ring IQ, as well as the willingness to sit in the pocket and exchange it at times. Hell, we didn't really see many clinches. We might have saw the first or second clinch in the 10th or 11th round. So highly impressed with Shakur. And this is the type of performance that's going to make not just Turkey Al Sheikh, but just boxing fans in general or any promoter want to not only one, see him again, but two, see him against the best of the best guys. Now there's no excuse why you don't want to fight Shakur. Oh, he gonna run. No, he didn't run. He was there. He was there all fight. He was there all night. Highly impressed with the win, and hats off to both of those guys. Very impressed with them. Let me know how you guys scored that fight. Excuse me. I had it 9-3 for Shakur, the same as Chris Mannix's scorecard. He had it 8-3 going into the 12th round. I saw it similarly. Let me know what you think of that fight. And then the other fight that I really paid attention to on that card. I mean, all of them were really good. I had to go back and look at the Puello fight as well, but Berlanga and Shiraz, I did not think Berlanga was going to win this fight. I've said it going back 3 or 4 years, and I had a video about Berlanga. It wasn't the one where he bit that one opponent, guy with the short afro, Angulo, might have been Angulo. Not that fight, but it was another fight where you could just see, not Canelo, but you could see that he has potential, but he's still a raw prospect. And as he's going up in weight, his ability to just ice people has slowly diminished. And by the time he's got to Shiraz, he walked him down. He walked him down, and the first knockdown, he clapped his fist together, got up. Second knockdown, clearly hurt, and it led to a stoppage. You have to take your, you have to tip your hat to Shiraz. I was very, very impressed with him. Very impressed with what he was able to do. And now he may potentially have a shot at Canelo, depending on what happens with this fight with Crawford coming up in September. But he definitely showed me that he deserves a shot at the 168 weight class. He can make noise there. So let me know what you guys thought of that fight. I did not think Berlanga was going to win, and man, his comments and his actions and the trash talk did not age well. There's a clip circulating around from him on the Breakfast Club, given on an interview in the lead up to the fight, and he was talking reckless, man. He was talking spicy, and I'll say this much: I'm not going to kick somebody when they're down, but hopefully this is a humbling experience for him, and he comes back stronger and more level-headed. So that's what I have to say about that fight. And then the fight between Morrell and who was his opponent? I don't know who his opponent was. I think the opponent actually got popped for a PED leading into the fight, and David Morrell still agreed to continue on with the fight. David Morrell, I think his last fight he lost to David Benavidez. So, this was a good fight for him to bounce back, but this was tough for him, man. And truth be told, I haven't looked at the whole fight in its entirety, but from what I'm seeing, back and forth, and if I go back and see some rounds where he clearly lost, I mean, I might agree with what I'm seeing going around, that he did not win that fight. He was eating a lot of shots, man. He was eating a lot of shots. He was getting cocky. He got cute in some moments, and he was getting clipped with shots that he didn't have any business getting clipped with. And I think it's because, in my opinion, he underestimated that man. And it showed on fight night. So, we will see. We'll see what the next fight for Morrell is, but you're going to have to refocus and get locked in, because if you lose focus against guys like this, whether they're juiced up on something or not, you risk getting your career derailed, man. You can't play boxing. Treat everybody as if they are the number one pound for pound fighter, whether you think that they're good or not. No, you treat them like they're the biggest existential threat to you that ever existed. That way, you never have a letdown. Hopefully, that's a lesson to him. Hopefully, that's a lesson to Berlanga. To prepare, talk less, prepare more. That's my simple message there. Also, did not see the whole fight, but I picked Alicia Baumgartner to win against Jennifer Miranda going into that fight in my prediction. And she was a minus 1800 favorite or something like that, I believe. And I saw the highlights back and forth. And from what I'm hearing, she did not impress. So I have to go back and look at that film. But again, Alicia Baumgartner getting into it with Clarissa Shields. You're so damn worried about who's the GWOAT, GWOAT, who's the greatest woman of all time in that squared boxing ring, instead of worrying about Jennifer Miranda. Stop talking all this stuff. You have to face off with Miranda, and look, if that's the energy you always bring, cool. But here's the thing: when somebody is able to match your energy, and this lady was, well, how are you gonna respond? What happens when somebody more skilled, in my opinion? I think Miranda was a solid opponent, but I don't think that she's as skilled as Baumgartner. But what happens when you find somebody with the exact same temperament as you, who's more skilled than Jennifer Miranda? You might end up getting hurt or stopped. Like you're going to humble yourself. Humble yourself. Look at fighters like Triple G. Look at fighters like Alexander Usyk. Look at fighters like Vasyl Lomachenko. I'm just picking fighters off the top of my head. There's no ulterior motive here. I'm just picking fighters that, or anyway, I'm just picking fighters that I can think of quickly that have that cerebral temperament. Doesn't matter what you're saying to them, no matter what junk you're popping off to them before the fight, in the lead up, at the face off, in the ring. No, they're always gonna walk forward like the Terminator, and the only time they really show emotion is when they're in the middle of a punch trying to knock your head off. Like that type of energy will never take you wrong. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with trash talk. If you can back it up, you can back it up. But when you don't, then the questions come. So that's my thoughts on that fight as well. Again, focus is the message of the day. Let me know what you think about all those fights. If you agree with my breakdown and prediction for the fights that I covered, as well as my scoring for them. And we're going to get ready for the Manny Pacquiao and Mario Barrios fight coming up this Saturday. And I'll leave my prediction later in the week. But let me know, guys, in the comments, who do you think is going to win that fight? Mario Barrios or the ageless wonder Manny Pacquiao? All right? And I'll talk to you on the next one. Peace.